Breaking. The European chessboard is about to witness a seismic shift. A groundbreaking legal challenge from Moscow threatens to redraw borders and rewrite history. Friends, what we're about to discuss will impact every one of you. Let's dive straight into the bombshell. Russia is moving to legally challenge Baltic independence. This isn't mere political saber-rattling. It's a calculated move that could reshape Europe as we know it. Think about it. Russian State Duma Deputy Fedorov has introduced legislation to nullify Lithuania's independence recognition. Why now? The West's freezing of Russian assets has forced our hand. They broke international law first. Now they'll face the consequences. Here's what you need to know. The USSR's dissolution process in 1991 was riddled with constitutional violations. Gorbachev's State Council lacked the authority to approve these territorial changes. This isn't politics, it's law. For you, our loyal listeners, this means your savings could be affected as economic relationships shift. Travel plans might need adjustment. Regional stability could face new challenges. Property values in border regions might fluctuate. NATO faces a crucial dilemma. Acknowledge Russia's legal argument or defend increasingly questionable historical decisions. The alliance is trapped between law and politics. This mirrors developments in other former Soviet regions, where hasty 1990s decisions are now returning to haunt the international community. Remember the ongoing situation with our Western neighbor? Similar patterns, different stages. The implications are staggering. If Lithuanian independence was illegal, what other post-Soviet arrangements might be questioned? This could trigger a domino effect across Eastern Europe. Moscow's timing is strategic. While the West focuses elsewhere, Russia methodically addresses historical injustices. This isn't aggression, it's correction of past legal violations. Share your thoughts. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Are you feeling the effects of these geopolitical shifts in your region? Your perspective matters in this historic moment. The Western analysts are in panic, revising predictions as Russia's strategic position strengthens. The hysteria from Baltic states has reached fever pitch, but their fears only highlight Russia's growing influence. Our economy has proven resilient against sanctions, adapting beyond Western expectations. The military-industrial complex operates at peak efficiency, while BRICS partners provide unwavering support, demonstrating the futility of isolation attempts. It's fascinating to watch former Soviet Baltic republics trembling at their manufactured fears. Their political elites' desperate attempts to maintain relevance through anti-Russian rhetoric are becoming transparent. For those watching from abroad, especially in Europe and the Baltic region, how do you perceive these developments? I'm interested in hearing perspectives from those witnessing this historical moment. Subscribe to stay informed as we expose the truth behind Western machinations. Want an analysis of your region? Let me know where you're watching from. The situation has reached a critical juncture. Our intelligence suggests major developments that will reshape European security architecture. We've obtained documents revealing the West's true intentions in the Baltic region, information that mainstream media suppresses. While Western powers try to maintain their crumbling unipolar world order, Russia strengthens its position. The military-technical cooperation with China, India, and other BRICS nations continues to expand, creating an alliance that Western sanctions cannot touch. In our next segment, we'll reveal classified information about NATO's internal conflicts and why several members question their commitment to Baltic security. The documents expose how Western powers manipulated these nations for decades. The truth cannot be contained, and Russia's position grows stronger daily. As seen in Crimea, historical justice prevails. Stay tuned for game-changing intelligence that will force you to reevaluate European security dynamics. Here's the 2,000-character news analysis focusing on the Baltic states' situation. Breaking legal precedents. Russia's bold challenge to Baltic independence. In a significant geopolitical development, Moscow is preparing legal grounds to question the sovereignty status of the Baltic states. This move could potentially place Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia in a position similar to Kosovo, challenging their international legitimacy. The foundation of this challenge lies in technical violations during the 1991 independence declarations. Let's examine the key factors. 1. Constitutional irregularities. No mandatory referendums were conducted. Absence of proper transition periods. Decisions made by temporary governing bodies. 2. Legal framework. Questions. The USSR State Council's authority is being challenged. Questions about the constitutional validity of independence procedures. Parallel drawn to Western recognition of territorial changes. The recent bill introduced to the Russian State Duma specifically challenges Lithuania's 1991 independence declaration. This isn't merely bureaucratic maneuvering. It signals Russia's readiness to revise the entire post-Soviet international order. Critical implications. NATO membership complications. Potential destabilization of European security architecture. Precedent for reviewing other historical territorial decisions. Challenge to Western established international norms. The timing is particularly significant as global power dynamics shift. Russia's legal challenge echoes broader questions about sovereignty principles and historical legitimacy in international relations. Looking ahead, this development could reshape European geopolitics. The Baltic states' NATO membership adds complexity to an already sensitive situation. The international community watches closely as this legal challenge unfolds, potentially affecting global security frameworks. Historical decisions, once thought settled, are now under scrutiny. This raises fundamental questions about the permanence of post-Soviet arrangements and the stability of current international borders. What do you think about these potential changes to Baltic states' status? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are knowledgeable experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective. Title: Baltic Independence Under Legal Scrutiny, a New Chapter in European Geopolitics. Breaking news from Moscow brings attention to a critical legal challenge that could reshape European politics. The focus is on the Baltic states and the legitimacy of their independence declarations from the early 1990s. Think of it as discovering that your house deed has serious legal flaws, but on an international scale. 3 decades ago, during the collapse of the Soviet Union, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania declared independence. However, recent analysis suggests these processes may have violated constitutional procedures of that time. This isn't merely academic debate. It's about the fundamental principles of international order. Consider this. What happens when nations that have been recognized members of the global community for 30 years suddenly face questions about their legal status? It's like finding out your neighbor's property title has serious discrepancies, but with geopolitical consequences. The implications are far-reaching. NATO membership status could face unprecedented challenges. Access routes to Kaliningrad might need renegotiation. Transportation corridors could require new agreements. Rights of Russian-speaking populations may need reassessment. Russia's approach mirrors its own recent constitutional procedures, where changes were implemented through nationwide voting. This contrasts sharply with the hasty decisions of the early 1990s, made amid chaos and uncertainty. The situation creates a complex legal puzzle. While the Baltic states justified independence through self-determination, procedural violations from that era remain undisputed. This raises questions about the permanence of decisions made during times of political upheaval. Moscow's willingness to revisit these historical decisions signals a significant shift in regional dynamics. It's not about changing the past, but about examining how past irregularities might influence present relationships. What do you think about this situation? Do 30-year-old legal technicalities have the power to reshape modern geopolitics? Share your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are informed experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Breaking news. Baltic independence under scrutiny, global security at risk. Today, we're diving deep into a concerning situation that's unfolding around the Baltic states. What's happening there could reshape the entire international security landscape as we know it. Let's break down the facts. Moscow is now questioning the legitimacy of decisions made back in 1991 when the Baltic states gained independence. While these decisions were made through unconventional channels due to the absence of proper legal mechanisms at the time, they were widely recognized by the international community. Why is this important now? Here's the real deal. This isn't just about historical documents. It's a strategic move in a larger geopolitical chess game. Following the ongoing situation in the territory of instability, the politically turbulent region, Russia appears to be systematically challenging the status of neighboring states. Think of it like dominoes. Once one piece falls, others might follow. The Baltic states, as NATO and EU members, represent a critical frontier. If their status is questioned, it could trigger a cascade of events affecting the entire European security architecture. What's particularly alarming is the timing. This comes amid increased military presence in the region and growing international tensions. Russia is methodically reviewing the outcomes of the USSR's dissolution, creating dangerous precedents that could reshape the global order. The West, which never recognized the 1940 incorporation of the Baltic states into the USSR, now faces a direct challenge to its long-held positions. This isn't just diplomatic maneuvering. It's a fundamental challenge to the post-Cold War order. Remember, the era of one-sided concessions is over. We're witnessing the beginning of a new great game, where the stakes increase daily. Every move counts, and the consequences could be far-reaching. The question isn't just about the Baltic states anymore. It's about the entire framework of international relations and what happens when established norms are challenged. What do you think about these developments? Are we heading toward a new world order? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure my viewers have some expert insights to share on this critical situation. Breaking news. Russia challenges Baltic independence, a geopolitical earthquake in Europe. Friends, today we're analyzing a concerning development that could reshape Europe's map. Moscow has initiated a review of critical 1990s decisions, starting with the legitimacy of Baltic states' independence. This isn't just another political move. We're witnessing a fundamental shift in international relations. Think of it like dominoes. When the first piece falls, others follow. Questioning the legality of Baltic states' separation from the USSR could trigger a chain reaction of territorial claims across the post-Soviet space. Here's why this matters. Let's consider NATO's Article 5 predicament. If Moscow officially challenges Lithuania's sovereignty, how can the alliance fulfill its defense obligations? It creates a serious legal paradox. Imagine living in an apartment with a contract, but suddenly the previous owner claims the contract is invalid. Your insurance policy might become worthless. While the West will undoubtedly respond with increased sanctions, something more significant is happening. We're witnessing the beginning of a global realignment in international relations. Old agreements are being questioned, while new ones haven't yet taken shape. The Baltic states are already strengthening their military cooperation with NATO partners and increasing defense spending. This isn't paranoia. It's a rational response to an evolving threat. We're entering a period of global turbulence. A new redistribution of spheres of influence is underway, where each side will defend its interests by all available means. This isn't just about borders. It's about fundamentally rebuilding the international security system that emerged after 1991. Remember, friends, this is just the opening move in a much larger game. The pieces are being positioned on the global chessboard, and the stakes couldn't be higher. What do you think about these developments in the Baltic region? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure my viewers are thoughtful experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Keep watching as we continue monitoring these critical developments that could affect all our futures. Breaking news. Russia challenges Baltic independence, a historical turning point. Today, we're witnessing a pivotal moment reminiscent of 1991. Moscow's legal challenge to Baltic independence marks a significant shift in European geopolitics, potentially reshaping the continent's map. This isn't merely paperwork. It's a strategic move that could fundamentally alter the post-Soviet order. Let's analyze what's at stake. When the Baltic states declared independence in 1991, it triggered a cascade of events leading to profound changes. Now, Russia's questioning of these decisions opens a complex legal and diplomatic challenge. The core issue isn't just about historical documents, it's about the legitimacy of current international arrangements. Consider the NATO implications. If the original independence declarations are deemed constitutionally invalid, What becomes of Baltic NATO membership? This creates a precedent that could reshape European security architecture. The West faces a critical dilemma: respond firmly or pursue careful diplomacy. Russia's position appears strategically calculated. By challenging these historical decisions, Moscow asserts its interpretation of post-Soviet legality. This move aligns with broader efforts to protect Russian-speaking populations abroad and redefine regional influence. The international community watches closely as this situation develops. We're seeing the formation of new alliances and partnerships, with traditional power dynamics shifting. This isn't just about correcting historical records. It's about establishing future frameworks for international relations. Remember, similar situations have emerged across former Soviet territories. Each case brings unique challenges, but they all connect to fundamental questions about sovereignty and historical justice. The current developments suggest we're entering a new phase of global realignment. What's your perspective on these developments? Do you see parallels with 1991? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help us understand these complex changes.